Hello, Michael Tellinger here from the One Small Town Initiative. Video I wanted to make for quite a while because the times that we live in are getting quite desperate. I can sense it, I can feel it, I'm sure you can sense it and feel it all around you when you look at the news around the world. What's happening on a daily basis, it is not pretty and it's very confusing and concerning. So the question I want to bring up today is really one of the main reasons why the One Small Town Initiative and the Ubuntu movement originally was formed all the way back in 2009. And the idea of creating a whole new social structure was really born in 2005, 2 decades ago. So the question is, how do you think it's going to end? Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about what you think is going to happen in the future. How do you see your future unfolding? How do you see the situation that we're in and the world that we're in and the socio-economic system that we find ourselves in, whether we like it or not? How do you see this unfolding and how do you see this ending? Because the way things are going right now, as far as I'm concerned, and I believe millions and probably billions of people around the world share the same sentiment as I do, is that there is no good outcome to the way the world is going and the way things are working right now. It's out of control. It's spiraling towards an potentially a apocalyptic ending. I certainly don't want to be part of that, and I don't want to contribute towards that. And that's why almost 2 decades ago, I created the movement that has now grown into millions of supporters around the world. So what do you think is going to happen? Here we find ourselves, 8 billion people. We get up every morning, we do something, we try to survive, and yet every day, every week, every month, every year, things are getting harder, things are getting tougher. It's harder to survive, to keep a roof over your head, to buy food, to earn this thing called money that keeps the world, that seems to keep the world going around. And if we don't have this thing called money, then it's virtually impossible to survive. How are we going to change this? What is going to have to happen for us to get into a better situation, to get into a situation where we feel comfortable, where we can look forward to a future of abundance and prosperity, especially for those who have children and are worried about the future of their children? I must tell you, I find it quite horrific, the thought that the children that are born today, the future they're going to have to face, unless we start fixing things. It's up to us to fix things for the future generations. If we don't, then the future is going to be very bleak, very disturbing, and most likely very, very dystopian. Anyone who try to start a business or to do something good in your community, anyone that's trying to do good things or start up new innovative technologies, or whether it's in healthcare, in engineering, and energy, in education, in agriculture, whichever way you go, whichever way you turn, whatever you try to do, there's a whole list and a wave of regulations, bills and acts and laws that are stopping us and preventing us from doing things that we'd like to do to make our lives better. It's become very clear that our governments are not there to serve us. In fact, it's very clear right now that very few governments in the world, very few leaders are actually there serving their people who elected them to serve them. And once again, so many of us forget that we elect our leaders to serve us. They are our servants. And therefore, if they're not doing things that we want to better our lives, to improve our lives, then we don't want them. And we should be able to remove them. And yet the system is not set up like that. It seems that these servants that we elect to serve us take on this dictatorial power and control. And they try and keep themselves in that position of control and power for as long as they can. Politics has become a nasty, nasty business where people seem to enrich themselves at the expense of the people who they try to serve, who they're supposed to serve. So, while on the subject, whenever you see a rich politician, unless they were wealthy before they went into politics, that's something else. But if you see someone going into politics, a normal person like you and I who lives somehow manages by and survives day to day, if they go into politics and suddenly they become very rich and they have millions of dollars and millions of whatever currency you have, something is wrong. And you have to know that that person is corrupted and has become most likely a criminal kind of individual. So politics as we know it today is not going to solve our problem, is not going to create a beautiful future for us. 8 billion people doing something. So many of us are doing amazing things. There are so many people that are doing incredible things, innovating, inventing, teaching, educating, healing, developing, designing, engineering, farming, growing. So many millions and millions and billions of people doing incredible things. And yet we hardly ever benefit from the things that we do and we create. Somehow it is always corrupted and abused and controlled, either by the government or government departments or large corporations that come and take control of what it is that we have created. And then those governments and corporations use it for their benefit at the expense of the people who developed these technologies or systems or innovations. It is not a pretty thing. It is terrible. And I speak from experience, especially now that we've developed these certain mind-blowing technologies with the One Small Town initiative, our recycling technologies and many other technologies that are yet to come, that we're working on already, that are blowing our mind in our factory, in our innovation hub. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the government is going to have an outburst of moral enlightenment or some sort of an explosion of integrity? And they're going to suddenly realize, oh my God, we've been doing things the wrong way. We're not serving our people. Do you think they're going to have an overflow of humanitarian sentiments and say, we're so sorry, we haven't been serving our people. We're going to fix things. We're now going to start serving our people. That's never going to happen. And once again, because I was involved in politics with the Ubuntu Party and the Ubuntu movement, not just in South Africa, but in Australia, in the UK, in Canada, in the USA, I know what it's like to be in politics. I've walked the talk. And I can tell you, it is a rotten industry. Industry, yeah, exactly, because they seem to make money for themselves. It is a rotten sector of our society to be involved in. The moment you go into politics, you become an opposition. You become an opposing party. You oppose the other parties. It's not a solution. So clearly, politics is not going to solve the problem. We've tried it. How many decades and how many centuries have we tried politics? And it has not worked. So we've got to find a different way. The governments are not going to change. The few governments and leaders that seem to have moral integrity and humanitarian high ground, that seem to be doing things to benefit their countries, to benefit their communities, to uphold their society, to uphold their cultures. Don't let them get invaded and destroyed by foreign cultures that we see happening all over the world right now. It's like it's an attack on people's sovereignty, individual cultures, the little bit of sovereignty that they seem to have kept for themselves, and the cultures that we have cultivated over many, many centuries are under attack. And that is a terrible thing. We can't all be the same. We all can't suddenly become black or white or Asian or Native American or whatever race group you might come from. We can't all become the other. We need to identify and recognize our differences and recognize the strengths in the differences. The strengths in the specialities and the certain amazing abilities that we have in the different race groups. That should be our strength. That should be what brings us together. At the moment, we are more divided than we've ever been before. It is quite spectacular. You know, I've been talking about the One Small Town initiative, the Ubuntu movement, bringing people together in small communities and unifying people to create abundance and property, because our strength is in our unity. Our strength is when we stand together, when we speak together, when we work together towards a common purpose and a common goal. Not when we are divided and we raise our flags and we protest this and protest that on our own. On our own, you can write letters until you're blue in the face. You can write letters to your government, to your councillors, to your municipality. Nothing's going to happen. But if suddenly 1,000 or 10,000 50,000 or 100,000 people that stand together as a united front in a movement that wants prosperity and abundance for their community, when you stand together like that, nothing can stop us. That's when we show our strength of unity within community. Not standing divided individually, we are weak and we will achieve nothing. This is why the One Small Town initiative is so critical to the future success, survival, and prosperity and abundance for the human race. That is why I've been so passionate about it for so long. And I will not give up. We'll continue. And we're making incredible strides. In this video, I don't want to talk about the successes of One Small Town. I want to talk about why we need to recognize and identify we have to do something different. Clearly, fighting the system does not work. How many people have protested and marched down the streets and been arrested and attacked by police and forces with tear gas and bullets and killed because they're protesting? Protests do not work. We have to do something different. And that's exactly what the One Small Town solution presents. Slowly but surely, quietly under the radar, without any fanfare, without any violence, opposition, or conflict, we start to create a new socio-economic structure, a new system that runs parallel to the current system. We can't fight the system. It is broken, but it cannot be beaten, because the system that we're in was created to defeat us. The system we're in is a slavery system, driven by money, driven by those who control the supply and the creation of money, and those who have amassed money, and most of that power now lies with our governments and the organizations that control our governments. So we can't fight that system because that system was created to control and enslave humanity. So you can't beat it because that system controls from the governments to the large corporations, to those who create the money system, to those who enforce the money system, the armies, the police services, and so forth. You can't beat the system. So we have to start creating a new system. A system that people gravitate towards, a system that people are attracted to because they recognize somehow inherently in their DNA makeup, they recognize that this is what we should be doing. And that's what I know millions and millions of people over the many years have resonated and continue resonating in growing numbers with the Ubuntu movement originally, that then became the One Small Town initiative. So we've walked a long path. We have experienced the blood, sweat, and tears, especially me, of getting this idea, this philosophy, not just off the ground, into people's hearts and minds, realizing that we have to do something. It's up to us, not up to somebody else to do it for us. It's up to us, it's up to you. Everyone watching this video, it's up to you to start making the change, to pick up the flag and become the flag bearer. That's probably the wrong idiom or imagery. Become the inspiration. Become the seed of consciousness in your community. Lead by example. Start getting people together. Start planning what you can do that'll bring people together. Activities, community activities, businesses, uplifting projects in your community that will bring people together and give them a feeling of hope, give them a feeling of achievement, that we're doing something. We're not just sitting on the fence waiting for somebody to come and save us, because nobody is coming to save us. Please let that sink in. You have to come to terms with this. Nobody is coming to save us. And if we keep putting our faith in others, that they're going to do something for us, this is not going to end well for us. And when I say us, I mean people who want peace, who want unity, who want cooperation and collaboration, who want to create a beautiful world where we live in harmony and unity and peace, in prosperity and abundance, without any conflict and violence, or the need for conflict and violence, because we have removed the tools or the objects of conflict. And that's what the One Small Town initiative does. It removes those horrible issues that make people fight each other, or want to fight each other, or want to do each other harm. So what I'd like to say is recognize where we are. I don't want to tell you what to do, but take a step back. Look at your situation, whether you live in a country that is abundant, whether you have money, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, if you're homeless or on the street, or if you live in a big fat mansion in a gated community with security guards, coming out of your ears, it still doesn't give you protection. It doesn't make you safe, because when this socioeconomic structure collapses, and it will eventually collapse, what that is going to look like is just too horrible to contemplate. We may end up in a totally dystopian society where we have no rights, no inalienable human rights, where all our freedoms and liberties have been taken away from us by those who we've appointed to be our servants. Because slowly but surely, they are chipping away at those powers that they take for themselves, and the liberties and rights and freedoms that they remove from the people who they're supposed to serve. If we don't start doing something about it now, the longer we wait, the less freedom and wiggle room we'll have to free ourselves from this slavery system, because that's what this is. It is a slavery system. This is not a system that will slowly but surely give us freedom, prosperity, and abundance and everything we need. No. Clearly by now, if you've not realized that, then you're watching the wrong TV channels, you're getting the information from the propaganda channels, and you're not paying attention to what's really going on in your life, in your community, and in your country. So it's up to us, each and every one of us, to recognize where we are, what is happening in our society. And even if you have billions of dollars in the bank, that's not going to save you when the system collapses. Your money is going to be worth absolutely nothing. Take a step back and realize that the One Small Town initiative is the tool that will take us slowly but surely, but can happen quite rapidly. Actually, I believe that when we reach a critical mass of people that recognize this and the penny has dropped for them, that we have to do this, because there is no other way. Once we've reached that critical mass, this can happen very quickly. And we start building that alternative parallel system that will slowly but surely make the current socio-economic slavery system obsolete. And when I call it a slavery system, I'm not saying that lightly or trying to use a buzzword. That's exactly what it is. Money, if you don't know this yet, money was created several thousand years ago as a tool of enslavement. I have many videos that talk about the origins of money, how it was created, when, by whom, and how it was slowly evolved into the tool of enslavement that it is today. If you don't know that yet, please watch some of my other videos. I'm not going to go into that right now. So we can create a system in which some form of money can still be used, but slowly but surely, the closer we get and the more abundant and prosperous we become, the less relevant and important money becomes in our lives. And that's a wonderful realization for anyone that wants to create a beautiful world, to reach that realization. That to have prosperity and abundance, we don't need money. But to get there, we need money. So through this One Small Town initiative that is just picking up steam and picking up momentum on a scale that I can't even believe, we have laid the foundation for creating this alternative parallel system that will slowly but surely make the current system obsolete. And that's where we need to get to. If you believe that there are other systems, that there's something else, by all means go and explore it. If you don't know what else to do, if you can't find some other system or some other group or some other plan, actually that's a plan. It's a plan of action to get us out of this dystopian slavery system. Like rats on a wheel, going around and around, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, hoping that things will improve. Well, clearly they're not getting better. They're not improving. Things are getting worse and worse. And it's very, very tragic. So unless you have something else, another solution, then join the One Small Town initiative. Be firm, be decisive in your action. Don't do this because you're confused. Do this because you've made the conscious choice that you want to do something for yourself and your family and your family's future. I truly believe that unless we succeed with the One Small Town initiative, And this might sound really arrogant and egotistic, but it comes from a place of deep caring and loving, and something I've been deeply invested in for 2 decades now. Unless we succeed in making the One Small Town initiative a success and bring power back to the people in the small towns of the world, and bring prosperity and abundance to the people of the millions of small towns in the world, we're going to end in a terrible dystopian future where the power lies in a small group of people that control the masses. And we certainly don't want to get there. One Small Town initiative is a solution for this. So I encourage you, read our website, think deeply about who you are, where you are, and how you can initiate this process and get involved. Go online, sign up as a member, and realize that the path we're on does not have a good ending. And unless you make the decision for yourself and your family and your community and start walking that journey of 1,000 miles, all you got to do is take that first step and another step and another step. And that's how you complete a journey of 1,000 miles, one step at a time. I've been doing this for 2 decades now. The momentum of the One Small Town initiative is reaching fever pitch. We're about to unleash. That's funny. We're about to release and introduce some amazing technologies that will help the One Small Town and the members of One Small Town around the world, to help them financially, help them launch the One Small Town initiatives. And as we release more and more of these technologies through our amazing innovation hub, the One Small Town Innovation Hub, with amazing inventors and innovators that are coming in larger and larger numbers to us to help them release their technology to the world, because they've tried and they have not been able to, not been successful. So the more and more we succeed with this, the more we'll succeed in launching more and more small towns around the world. We have tried all kinds of things. We have tried launching this in Canada, in Australia, in South Africa, in Brazil, in Zimbabwe, in Swaziland, in the UK, in Ireland, in France, in so many other countries, Croatia. And we've learned the hard way of what doesn't work and why historically communities have not been able to come together and not been able to continue a united front, doing things together. We've learned why things always fall apart. And the structure and the platform we've put together gives us a structure of accountability, of planning, of success, so that it cannot fail. So analyze where you are, join the One Small Town initiative, and let's make our future and this world a beautiful place for you, your family, your community, and especially for your children and the future generations. If we don't do it now, the future generations are not going to live in a beautiful world and a very friendly environment. It's going to be a very unpleasant and a horrible situation to be born into. I don't want to live in a world like that, and I know that you don't either. So, on a high note, on a note of positive inspiration, the One Small Town initiative has all the solutions built into it. All you got to do is grab it and run with it. I will leave you. Hope this has brought you some enlightenment, some inspiration, and hopefully a direction that you'll recognize is vitally critical for the survival and the success of our species and our beautiful world. Until next time, this is Michael Tillinger. Bye for now.